Check. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Irving Las Colinas Rotary Club. It is a joy to see each and every one of you on this beautiful day that God has made. Friends, as we get our meeting kicked off today, we are thankful for the gifts that we have. I'm thankful for the gift of life today. And I'm going to have Reverend Dr. Bill Labar lead us in our invocation.
Stand. Two things we need to remember as a club before we go to God in prayer. First off, this is the first weekend for our flags, and we should be all ready for that. And the second is taking our Ryland campers to camp Sunday afternoon, and then picking them up next Friday. And I'm really excited for them to come back from camp and speak to you, because this is an outstanding group of young adults, and so we should be proud of what we do. Let's go to God in prayer. Eternal God, we give you thanks for this beautiful spring Thursday morning. The weather is just gorgeous outside. We couldn't ask for anything better. We give thanks for this club and our work. The big event that we had before us this weekend with the first placement of our American flags on Memorial Day. We give you thanks for the Ryland campers and those efforts. We are truly trying to do service above self, God. We give you thanks for our guests today from California, following all of those companies here to find out what's going on in Texas. And we ask your spirit to be upon them and their journeys as they're going to Australia for a Rotary convention. Be with them. Let them know that this club is with them in the power of our prayer. We ask your spirit to be upon us, to bless this food, to take it to the nourishment of our bodies, and to keep us this day in your peace. In the name of Christ we pray. Amen. Amen.
Please remain standing as you are able. Kathy Howard, you're looking so patriotic today. Would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Y'all may be seated. All right, Donna, our secretary, will be introducing our visiting Rotarians and guests. And then following that, Rick will be up for an update for us.
Our guests today are Aaron Alsop, guest of Robert Alsop.
Welcome back.
And our visiting Rotarians, Gina and Daryl Sheriff from Merced Road, Sunrise Rotary, Merced, California.
We want to present you with our flag. And so much appreciate joining us for this meeting.
Very good, thank you. So for those of you who don't know, our flight got canceled, so we flew from Fresno to Dallas. And now we're flying from Dallas, then we're flying back to Los Angeles, and then on the city. So it's just an adventure. I mean, we're going back.
All right, Rick, Mr. Flag Boss, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Prez. Hey, everybody, let's give the President a good Marine hoorah, because he is one tough fella. You know, special surgery. Hoorah. Come on. Cody, 1, 2, 3. Hoorah. That's it. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Some excitement. Thank you. You're a tough guy, I'll tell you. Well, it's been a 50-hour week this week for Kathy. Hour and night working on flags. Kathy, oh, there she is. Kathy, it's been a hard week. Bob went and got PVC pipe. He's been cutting pipe. He got PVC pipe. Bill and Donna and Bob, we met to respond to a special request from the Grand Treviso over there, Harry. I'm sorry we've got that Navy flag here. But they had a request, they have 2 Marine colonels that live there, and they said, well, can we get some military flags? So Kathy called, located one for each of the branches of service, except for the, who are they, the astronaut guys?
Space Force.
Yeah, those guys. Until they go to Mars, we're not going to put the flag out. No, so we built 5 special flags. We put those at Grand Treviso along with their 28 other flags. You have a little garden, a grassy garden. If you get a chance, go down Las Colinas Boulevard and take a look at how beautiful that looks. Those people there are just very, very happy. All of you know Dr. Bettis and Sonny, Harry lives there. Got lots of people that we know. It looks beautiful. So then it happened that Kathy said, well, I have some Marines living and maybe living in where I live at the Remington, right?
Right.
So she bought 5 flags and we put those right outside their lunchroom so that their folks, every time they go eat, they can. Those flags plus the other 5 or 10 flags that they U.S. flags. It is Flag Week. We are at 1,314. We're at 37 flags at Millennium. We're at $72,940. We're at $2,770 donated specifically for your scholarship program. So congratulate yourself. A round of applause. The 18th, that would be incoming president-elect Stan. Yeah, you. Oh, Lazaro Alvarez. No, he right there, met us at the barn. Richard had the new Dodge truck, Dr. Carr was there. We went down to Grand Treviso, put out their flag first, then we went to Millennium Fountain and put out 72. We added a couple. We have a video that's going to show a very surprising thing that happened this morning. So as we're putting out flags, a group of students walk up from Schultz Elementary School, right around the corner. And so no, I think it was, she said Schultz. Yeah, anyway, and so Miss Christine, their teacher, asked kind of what we were doing. We talked about the flag program and what was going to happen. And they asked if there were any veterans. So I shook all the students' hands. And then we asked if the students wanted to be a part of the flag placement program. So Les got some photographs and some video. These 5th grade students were so excited to learn how to unroll the flag, roll up the flag etiquette, keep it off the ground. Dr. Cara and Laz was pointing at the sleeve. We had red flags. They had a great time placing flags. It was an exciting opportunity. You guys joined me, Richard, Jose, Cara, where is he?
He couldn't make it.
Said he wasn't no bigger.
You are all day. Well, we're working too hard. Anyway, Laz, how was it with the students this morning?
It was
I just
fun.
carry the flags and they got it done.
taking about 20 minutes to go around, and people take about 10 minutes or less.
Yeah, they were like ants going everywhere. They put out about 30 flags. Luckily, we already had the red flag. That was a bonus for us this morning at Millennium Fountain, getting to interact with them, see excitement, and teach them some things about Rotary and who we are and the flag program. So that was a great morning. I know I'm taking too long, but I do want to recognize two people. Donna, you've already stood up. If you'll walk up this way. And Patty, if you'll walk up this way, these are the Uptown girls, and they have their own route. They've already been out. They have researched. They painted stars, located sleeves. They are the girls that keep Millennium Fountain standing tall, looking good. When I was at Simon's Flag, I saw them. So I said, I'm going to get the Uptown girls. Now, the person who answers this question gets their choice. I'm thinking of an integer between 1 and 3. This is not a trick question. What is an integer between 1 and 3? Okay, they're saying 2, so anything. It is 2. Who wants 1? You're They keep Millennium looking good.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Well, tell us about Mama's daughter.
There you go.
Yeah, I think we'll have to.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Friends.
It's all good.
All right. Val, are we ready to get going with the speech contest? I'm gonna have Terry Oliver, our Program Director and Vocational Services Chair, introduce our program today.
It's nice to see everybody here today. A couple of weeks ago, we had students from Irving ISD come and give us their take on our 4-way test for Rotary. Today, we have high school students coming to share with us their take on what the 4-way test means. So they drew numbers earlier in a very scientific fashion. And our first speaker today is Mary Cavanna. Mary, please join us. Just go.
A couple months ago, I called my brother late at night and he answered the phone and said, "Hey, so we just got in a car crash." Unfortunately, nobody was hurt, but as my brother was explaining the situation to me, he realized that if the car had been even a few seconds later, it would have hit him straight on. My brother would have been seriously injured, probably hospitalized, maybe even killed. And that shouldn't be. I went to bed that night and I thanked God that my brother was alive. I was completely changed for like 2 days. And then I forgot about it. I forgot how easily my brother could have died. But his sudden death, or anyone's sudden death, is still a possibility. So today I'll be talking about why we should remember we will die. Fun times ahead. Let's go. First, is it the truth? Should we remember that we will die? Absolutely. Happiness doesn't come from avoiding facts you don't like. It comes from confronting them. Or even embracing them. That's what happiness comes from. There's a saying called memento mori, which translates to remember you will die. For some people, like certain saints, this was what they lived by, the fact that their lives would end. In fact, some saints even had skulls on their desks as a constant reminder of this fact. Why? Not because they had a morbid fascination with death, but because they wanted to be reminded of the truth. This life is temporary. Death is unavoidable, but we still like to pretend that it doesn't exist. There is nothing else that is so certain, yet so ignored. But ignoring the truth never works. So that's the first reason that we should remember, because it's the truth, and truth shouldn't be avoided. Second, it's only fair that we remember that our lives will end. When we ignore the fact that our lives will end, it cheats us and others out of respect for each other. When we acknowledge the fact that our lives will end, then it leads to us treating each other the way that we should. It makes loving others despite their flaws much easier. If there's one thing that calms me down when my brother doesn't answer my questions, it's remembering the fact that in a couple hundred years, we'll both be a pile of bones. Remembering that the fact that we died gives us the joy that we should have, and forgetting it cheats us of that joy. There's one story that is an absolutely beautiful model of this truth. An age-old classic novel. I'm just kidding. I'm talking about Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, an animated movie that came out this year that deals with the cat who's on the last of his lives. This story is a beautiful model of the fact that what gives life value is the end of it. Puss in Boots spent most of his life ignoring the fact that he would die, chasing after things that didn't matter, and avoiding things that did. He only realized the value of what and who he had when he realized he wasn't immortal. Which leads to the next question. Will it be beneficial for all involved? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Yes, of course it will. Now, the thing about death is that if we forget about it, then it means that we don't treat each other as we should. As I said in my point about how it leads to how things are fair. Anyone who's encountered death or almost encountered death starts to realize afterwards just how much time they wasted. If someone you love has died, you probably experienced this too. You wish for one more hug, one more conversation. You wish you had spent time with the people you cared about. In his book, Rediscovering Happiness, Matthew Kelly asked the nurses what dying patients talked about. The answer was almost unanimous: regrets. Dying patients said that they wished they had spent more time with those they loved, spent less time working, been a better spouse, focused more on spirituality, had more kids, they kept with old friends, and lived more in the moment. They only realized this as they were dying. We can realize this earlier. The only thing that strengthens friendship and family is time spent together. At the end of your life, you're not going to look back and say, I wish I had spent more time at work, or I wish I'd ignored my little brother. No, your regrets will be the time you wasted on things that didn't matter. Which leads to the last question. Is it beneficial to all involved? No, I'm just kidding. Yes. Does the idea of dying scares you? Good. Sometimes we need to be scared into action. During COVID, people were asking, is this the end times? And that scared me because I knew I wasn't ready. My character arc wasn't finished. I had flaws to overcome. Although I didn't realize it at the time, one of the main reasons I was scared of dying was because I wanted to look back at the end of my life and be satisfied with how I lived it. And I knew at the time that I wasn't. We become better people when we remember we will die. So if the idea of dying scares you, think about why it scares you and fix that. But whatever you do, don't ignore death. I don't mean obsess over it, but don't forget about it. Don't live like Puss in Boots. Live like the saints, the people who Memento mourned, who remembered all their lives that their lives would end. Rearrange your priorities. Become the sort of person who you would be proud of at your death, and remember, you will die.
Amen.
Thank you, Mary. We appreciate that. Our second speaker today is Zelly Louisa Donahue. So please welcome Zelly.
Kate wanted to be the world's best student. Though actively involved in 3 extracurricular activities and having a 4.0 GPA, she still didn't feel like enough. So naturally, she decided to enroll in dual credit classes. When enrolling for these courses, she had a difficult decision to make. Which ones should she take? Now, Kate really likes math and science, so she was hoping to take some of those courses. But unfortunately, she put off the decision-making to the very last moment, and ended up having to take English 1301 and social studies. Now, to make matters even worse, have you heard about this website called ratemyprofessor.com? Well, students rate the professors on ratemyprofessor.com, and Kate ended up with the worst rated professors on the entire college campus. As much as I hate to admit this, I seriously resonate with Kate. But we as a society try to blame this on lack of initiative, procrastination, or pure laziness. The truth is, this came from a fear. In my time here today, I want to have a difficult yet important conversation with you. In our efforts to eliminate our fear of commitment, we will put commitment itself to the test, specifically the four-way Rotary test. Let us begin with question number 1. Is it the truth? For many, we believe that a truthful person is simply someone who tells the truth. But this barely scratches the surface. Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines commitment as, quote, an agreement or pledge to do something. You see, there's a facet of truth that involves saying the true thing, but more importantly, one who's honest will fulfill his promise. In the pursuit of truth, we're obliged to say things that sometimes hurt, but we also have to fulfill our promises. So to answer the question, yes, commitment is true. To answer the second question, is it fair to all concerned? Now, as soon as I mentioned the topic commitment, you were probably expecting me to bring up this very triggering subject, divorce. So in the honor of getting a little bit spicy today, let's do that. Now, we all know that children of divorce suffer from a lot of different issues. Rather than scolding parents for their decisions, let's actually ask how it affected them. Take this statistic from Petrelli Privatera law firm. Quote, according to the American Psychological Association, 40 to 50% of first marriages end in divorce. Now, I'll bet you already knew that statistic, but let's hear one more. Quote, the divorce rate for second marriages is even higher, with 60 to 67% of second marriages ending in divorce. Now, I myself am not married, but this principle is universal. When you decide to break your commitment, you do not value your word. It takes the solemnity out of the words, till death do us part. Commitment obliges you to protect the people concerned with your promise, but it also obliges you to be fair. So yes, commitment is fair to all concerned. The third question is this: will commitment build goodwill and better friendships? Let's explore this through an example. A few years ago, my family hosted a graduation party for my brother. 80% of our guests, there were about 100 total, RSVP'd a On the day of the party, 87 people showed up, and my family was only expecting 5. What kind of friends? Couldn't even commit to saying yes or no to a party, only to show up and put my mom in distress because she has 82 extra mouths to feed. I'm not even sure there's that many people in this room. You see, the problem is that commitment requires communicative friendships and goodwill. So yes, commitment builds goodwill and better friendships. Because when we make promises, we give hope. When we fulfill promises, we turn that hope into joy. But when we break promises, we turn that hope into heartbreak. And if we can't even commit to a yes or a no, we make trouble. The final question is this: is it beneficial to all concerned? To answer this, let's return to our good friend, Kate. Now, Kate aced her classes. She decided to stick it out. And interestingly enough, professors don't want their students failing classes because after a certain number of failures, they could get fired. They also don't want to be poorly rated on any website. This being said, since Kate aced her classes, she did her GPA a favor and herself one too. But more importantly, she ended up graduating high school with her associate's degree and was accepted into her dream college, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Commitment has a profound impact on the people around you, but even more, it blesses you. Much like Kate's grades, commitment passes the four-way Rotary test with flying colors. It is obliging us to be truthful in our actions. It is fair to all concerned. It builds goodwill and better communicative relationships, and it benefits all concerned. So I entreat you to ask yourself this question: what was the last commitment I made? For me, I recently committed to visit my friend Kate in Boston this fall, where she'll be studying engineering at MIT. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally. And our last speaker this afternoon is William Guggenau.
It was a very cold December afternoon. It was only a few days before Christmas, and my mom, along with my uncle visiting from France for Christmas time, decided to go with us kids into downtown Dallas to look for homeless people on the street. Now, of course, it was a very cold afternoon, so there weren't many out. But those that we did find, we brought food and we gave it to them. Today, the topic I want to talk about is charity and helping our neighbor. And the reason I want to talk about this is because of the simple fact that it is exclusive to everyone. It is a global issue, and it is probably also a personal issue for a lot of us. I would contend that the world would be a better place if there was more charity in the world today, because our world is going crazy. And I would also contend that there is not enough charity in the world today, and that's why we're going so south. So today I'm going to answer a couple questions. First, is charity truth? Is it going to be fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And finally, is it beneficial to all concerned? And I'm going to answer yes to all of these questions. The first question is charity truth? And yes, absolutely it is. And the reason for that is simply because it is a virtue. Now, the Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines it as, quote, generosity and helpfulness towards the needy and suffering, end quote. A great example of this could be driving into downtown Dallas and feeding people on the street with the food you bring with you. It can be something simple. It doesn't have to be something significant every time. A simple something sometimes can be better than a significant something. Something small you do. I believe that charity is it's not inclusive. It's not simply something that Christians just practice. It's something that everyone can practice, no matter what religion you are, or if you're even religious at all. It's something that everyone can practice. It can be something as simple as praying for a family who lost their house to a fire a couple weekends ago. Or it could be something as significant as going out to help your local charity or your local food bank or whatever. So I would contend that charity is truth because it is a virtue. It's something that we can all practice, and it's something that we can use in everyday life. And because it's a virtue, I believe it yields results. The next question is, will it be fair to all concerned? Yes, absolutely. Charity is fair to everyone concerned for the simple reason that everyone benefits from it. The reason for this is the chances that you help someone in your life, someone who needs help, someone who is poor, whether significantly or simply, is because we live in a society and we have a duty and a responsibility towards other people. Even if the chances that someone you help will give you something in return are very high. Even if it's something as simple as thank you for doing that for me. Even just those words is simple enough. They may not repay you in a significant way, but they'll repay you in a simple way, even if it's just a thank you. And so we can feel good about ourselves in that sense. We have a duty and a responsibility to share the wealth that we have. We do it for a just cause, for helping the poor, for helping the needy, for being generous towards those who need it and those who are suffering. That's why it's fair. Now, the second to last question is, will it build goodwill and better friendships? As 4th century philosopher BC Aristotle said, quote, no one would choose to live without friends, end quote. So I believe that charity will build up goodwill and better friendships for the simple reason that it is a communal act. It's something that we do together for everyone who needs help. Making a new friend with someone you were kind to is very likely to happen. You help someone, you donate money to someone, you give something to someone personally. You may have just made a new friend with them. So making new friends with someone you were kind to definitely does build up goodwill and better friendships. And that's what I believe charity does. Now, the final question that I want to answer today is, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Now, yes, you'll probably think I'm crazy if I answered no to this question, since I've answered yes to all the rest of them. So the answer is yes, it will be beneficial to all concerned. And the reason is, when we give something up, like our property or our wealth or a little bit of money towards someone who needs it, we're giving something up that we may have wanted, but we don't exactly need. We're giving what we wanted to someone who actually needs it. That's why I believe charity towards your neighbor is beneficial. Because of that reason, and because everyone benefits from it, including the giver. The receiver and the giver benefit. Another reason is that it has a ripple effect. At the beginning of this speech, I stated how I believe the world would be a better place with more charity in the world today. So the benefit is they repay us even in a simple way. A simple thank you, a simple something. They're not going to repay you in significant ways all the time, but something simple will definitely have a ripple effect. I believe that we can feel good about ourselves at best, even with just a simple thank you. I believe we can make the world a better place. So now the challenge. Here's what I challenge you to do today. I challenge you to go and help someone most in need. Because doing that will have, as I've stated, a ripple effect. Even if we do it in just a simple way, we can feel good about ourselves for doing something worthy. We helped our community. We loved other people. That is why charity is beneficial to all concerned, because it makes the world a better place and everyone gets to feel better about themselves. So today, I challenge you to go do something simple. It doesn't have to be significant. It could be as insignificant as a simple prayer for someone who needs it most. Showing kindness towards those who need it. The person you show charity towards will not only show gratitude for your kindness, but you will have done something worthy of yourself. Because we can go away feeling we did something that really matters. And the ripple effect of that will make the world a better place. Thank you.
Thank you so much, William. Mary and Sally, can we get you guys up here? Any questions from the club for these young people? Any questions while the judges are tallying their scores and getting things together?
I feel sorry for the judges.
Yeah.
That's we're all good.
Appreciate it.
Maybe you have them tell us what grading school they are, what their educational plans are after they graduate.
Mary, if you can guide us in the lines.
I'm a senior and I'm gonna go to the University of Dallas over there.
What do you want to study?
What are you gonna study, Barry?
I'm not sure yet. It's a liberal arts university, so I have time to choose. Probably art or education or philosophy or psychology or biology.
I guess, an up-and-coming senior this fall, and I'm either going to Texas Tech or A&M, and possibly a school in Georgia for a 6-year medical school program, but I'm not exactly sure, so.
And I'm also a rising senior, and like Sally said, I'm not entirely sure what I want to do, probably business, politics, something along those lines. University that I want to attend, probably either UD or Benedictine College in Kansas, maybe UTA, I'm not sure, any of those.
Excellent.
I have a question. So prior to this being asked for us to like and come and see us and present, had you ever heard of Rotary or Rotary Club
future? Sure. So I did hear about it once before I came to compete here. I was invited to come and compete last weekend. So I had heard about it in an email a couple months ago, but never really thought about it. So that's the answer to your first question. Second question, I would say, yes, I think going forward, I think the Rotary test is very helpful to think about. Is it truth? Is it fair? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? And is it beneficial to all concerned? So yes, I agree. Those are all good questions that are definitely should be thought about into the future, for sure. Absolutely.
So I've actually never seen a Rotary anything before in my entire life. A few months ago, I was presented with the opportunity to do this, and I was like, well, heck, why not? I've been looking for opportunities to just write, because although I am very good in school, I do not enjoy writing, so I love performing. So I told my grandmother, hey, I'm gonna do a Rotary speech, whatever that is. And she was like, oh yeah, your grandfather was a Rotary champion. But other than that, I didn't even know it existed. I'd never seen a speech. But as for the speech itself, I think it's definitely valuable. And we've all participated in speech and debate for a few years now. And it's been useful to think about our topics and our discussions, and even that facet, which is a totally different organization, about these questions. I think it's valuable. Well, it's going to be certainly valuable in the fall when I'm writing my speeches, but it's also valuable because I'm a very busy person and I do a lot of different things, and sometimes I do things that aren't worth it. So yeah, I think it's valuable.
I heard about the Rotary. I think my mom told me about it. My brother did it last year. I think, yeah, at this club. He gave a speech on why you should rest on Sundays. And so I decided to do it this year. And regarding whether or not it's useful, I mean, absolutely. I really like how it has all four of those questions, because I feel like most people nowadays just ask, is it true, or will it build goodwill and better friendship, and not both of those things. So I like all the different dimensions of it, and it's really useful.
Have you heard of Rotaract? Okay, fellas. It worked.
So a lot of the colleges that you're gonna go to, probably have a Rotary organization that it's part of the school, and then they interact with the actual Rotary that town. So if you're new to the application, it's beneficial to be part of it, because you need to interact with the community. But also a lot of Rotarians are very helpful, so while you're living away from home, you feel like you have a community that supports you. So look into it, wherever it is that you guys can have.
Thank you.
Other questions? They're still tabulating back there. Seems how fast and serious.
I think one of you has a parent here, maybe they can be introduced.
Is that your parent or your teacher? Your mom. Oh, introduce your mom.
And
She's everybody's teacher. Oh, you introduce her.
This is my mom. This is Laura Cabana. She was also the speech. She started our speech club at our co-op, and she's retiring this year because I'm retiring this year. But yeah, I think that's yeah. So she brought us all here.
Here we go. Drum roll. So the winner of today's speech contest, congratulations, William. You'll be receiving $400 from the Irving Las Colinas Rotary Club. Congratulations. You'll be receiving reward from the Irving Las Colinas Rotary. Rotary. So let's distribute.
Fit in on this side.
One, two, three.
That was great, and I feel like all those speeches fit into the Rotary motto of service above self. So that was very cool to hear your presentations. They were surprisingly good speeches. So hats off to your teacher. You guys did an amazing job, and we're so thankful that you shared those gifts with us and that you have inspired us on this day. Without further ado, I'm going to invite Lieutenant Cody Johns to come lead us in our four-way test, but before he does, he's going to give us an announcement. Do we have other announcements as he's coming forward? Terry.
Wanted to invite you all to the Constellation Club tonight. From 5:30 to 7:30, the new, what was formerly known as the SEMA Club. We're having cocktails for a cause. This will be the first open event for that club. So please come see their new digs and
What time?
cocktails, 5:30 to 7:30.
5:30 to 7:30 at La Cima, now Constellation Club.
Well, you can bring a bottle of wine. I don't want that to deter anybody from attending, but if you want to bring a bottle of wine, we'd love it because it'll help us fill our auction baskets for the upcoming game auction.
Cool. Very good. Cocktails for a cause. All right. Any other announcements for the good of the club? Awesome. I want to turn it over to Lieutenant Cody Johns.
My sergeant and I.
So great to see you all again. I'm just so excited. I keep telling this every time I'm here. We are having our Irving luncheon. We're actually combining our soup, soap, and hope luncheon that Miss Bonnie always puts together for so many years. And also, if you've been in Irving for a while, you'll know about our super lunch. We're combining both of these into an Irving luncheon called the Together We Can. And all the proceeds benefit our Boys and Girls Club, which we are now fully staffed. I'm happy to say we have 11 staff fully there now, which means we are allowed to have 120 kids this summer. So please pray for me. We had about 25, 30 kids last summer, so we've almost tripled. So it's just a blessing to continue to get to do these things for the Irving kids and with field trips. So if you would like, I have Miss Carol Boyer made these little nice note cards. I know some of y'all might have some in the mail, but if you need one, please get with me. It has the website where you can go in and do it all electronically. But if you don't like to do electronics, I have paper copies in the back if you'd like to do that. But if you have any questions, please get with me at the end of this so I don't run over too long. But thank you again for always letting me share. This is very exciting. July 25th. I've been fighting for this for 2 years and we're finally getting to do it. So please show up and get to see, there'll be some special things for this event. So I can't spoil
It's
it.
at the convention center.
At the Irving Convention Center, 4th floor, Grand Ballroom. But if you could please stand if you're able. Please join me in the things that in our four-way test, we think, say, and do. First,
Is it the truth?
second,
Is it fair to all concerned?
third,
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
and fourth.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned? May the Lord bless you and keep you, and I hope to see y'all next time.